Do not forget that somebody might tell you that your product is expensive, but please understand that you need to be very confident about your product.
How then did you figure out the need to bring out a nutritive plant-based brand, and that too one based on locally sourced ingredients?
So basically, I think for any women in India, they all have grown up in a family system where cooking traditional meals is a part of growing up. So at least from the generation I grew up in a joint family where cooking up these things was a very common affair. That to
Mhm.
three fresh meals in a day.
Yeah.
So the exposure to these Epicurean cuisines were there as a part of my childhood. So the learning began there, though I was not very conscious. But I think over the life experiences, when you connect the dot back, you realize that how much of knowledge you have gathered. And as you grow and you start working, building your career, and like any other woman, I had this aspiration to be in an IT world, um, work 9 to, like, got into this corporate job. I've been an HR for a long time.
Mhm.
So juggling this and coming back and not thinking as to what should I eat, what should I cook. So so you just start making these ideas as a meal prep that you want to make and keep it during the week,
Mhm.
or one of the week, like a Wednesday, you just take some time out to do, and again on a weekend. So over a period of time, I realized that soups were one of the most easiest things to make. And I think we all grew up with brands like Knorr and Maggie, where we just made it in like about 5-10 minutes, and we just like slurped it, and we used to feel so full. But I think as we age, there is also that we don't really realize the impact that it has on our health.
Mhm.
Maybe during the heydays, you don't feel the real impact, or the bloating, the acidity, and these things. But as you grow up, you also see that you start facing these issues, and it's not something that you can have on a regular basis. But soup is such a quick fix meal.
Right.
And when I think about it back then, I think Indian kitchen has always been familiar with these soupy kind of meals. Like, you had this, especially in south of India, where you have this sambar, rasam. And I was just looking at it. So soup is not a very new concept to us. It's always been
Mhm.
in our culture. So when I went looking in the market for something like really natural and without preservatives, I hardly could find any. So, but by then I had my daughter, so my child. So I started making it at home myself, but I thought this is really a tedious process, right from buying the vegetables, making the broth. We used to give this dal pani and all these. But
Right.
those are the things that actually children enjoy, and you as a person also start enjoying and feeling good. So that inspired me to think. I've always been interested in food, and I'm a foodie myself. So when I look back, I think India is so rich culturally when it comes to food that it's as good as an epic itself.
Right.
So looking back, my inspiration came from there. And then when I looked into the market, there was hardly any brand that I could pick up off shelf
Mhm.
and use it.
So how
So
do
I
you
thought, when you have a problem, you better solve it.
Right. So how do
Yeah.
you create the market? There is a lot of competition, right? You will be pitched against your FMCG companies and your the soup brands that are there on shelves. So marketing, reaching the right customers isn't easy in the face of tough competition from brands with deep pockets. So
Absolutely, you're right. It's not a very easy, but when you make see, the thing is, when we make a product, I think it's very important to understand
mhm.
who are you making this product for. So when I made the product, I really didn't think about it. It was to cater to women who looked at health and well-being and who looked for clean products.
Okay.
So, or generally people who are fitness conscious or health conscious and things like that. I never thought into like how is my brand going to stand in between these big brands, and how am I going to make a space. But I think today, if you look at it, plant-based and clean eating products have really made a space in the market today, though it's very small. To the percentage is very small, but it's a growing market. And especially I think women above 28 and 30 become really health conscious in terms of whether it's different phases of life, whether you're just going to get married, or you're going wanting to be a mother, or you're just a fitness buff, anything, you just become health
Mm.
conscious, so you start looking for clean products. I think it's a different market. It's not a market to compete with the FMCGs. That's a different ball game altogether. And being a small entrepreneur, it's mainly through word of mouth is where I started, and then I started establishing my own brand where I cater to the communities where people look for such products. So
Mhm.
basically, tie up with nutritionists, dietitians, or you have many clubs and communities which look for plant-based products. So you basically start working with them, and of course, you as a person, you go do sampling, go to the markets, vegan markets, plant-based markets. Look for these where you can really leave your mark and showcase your product. And sampling is one of the best ways. And
Mhm.
when it's made with cultural ingredients, people immediately identify with the taste, and it creates a sense of nostalgia. And talking about the health benefits of kitchen ingredients, we just grow up with it. We know pepper is good for this, salt is good for this. So there's no need an extra mile to go to convince people about it. So you actually take advantage of it and bring about products. So that's how it is. So it's a very niche market. So it's very important to know to which segment are you catering. And
Mhm.
definitely today, even the big consumer um, stores which have separate shelves for handmade products, plant-based products, vegan products, and things like that. So I think the market is growing. Definitely, it's a niche one. Yeah.
So, coming to funding and capital, you have been in business for 4 years and you created quite a name for yourself. What is the journey on the finance side of it? How did you fund your business?
For an entrepreneur like me, I really started small, and still I don't belong to a medium or a large segment of business. But I feel once you decide to be on the journey, I think the first step that I did was I had to fund my own business, and that's where it all started. The thing is, my business didn't require me to invest a huge amount in the beginning, so I could do with my own savings and begin with it. But as the business expanded, definitely you need a lot of support, especially to keep your running costs on, operational costs on every month. So definitely it's going to be it is challenging, and it was for me, and still it is. And one of the thing is the next step after you fund your own self, uh, it's not something that you can keep on doing it. So once you start reaching out to people, there are definitely people in your own family and friends who know about your business and want to pitch in at a very early stage when they know that you're doing a good job, and you have a strategy in place, you have a plan in place. And I think it's very important for you to be clear how big you want to grow, or how do you want to take your business. So for me, it was I started with my own savings into the business, and then of course I had fundings from my own family and friends in the beginning, and that's how I'm continuing, and it's quite self-sustainable right now, my business. And definitely I look at growing my business further. And yes, I think nationalized banks, and I think there are a lot of government schemes today, especially to support women entrepreneurs. And India is looking at a contribution from women entrepreneurs in their GDP. I think that makes a lot of sense. And a lot of schemes, especially if you're into food business, that's where you will find a lot of women, or in the cosmetic business. That's where even I have seen a lot of people growing. So especially if women in food business can look into a lot of government schemes, which I have been looking in the past close to a year, and I think they are wonderful things. And especially you just need to be clear how much you want, what do you want, and what is your growth plan for the next 2 or 3 years. So that's how it's been till now. But looking at funding over a period of time, and growing this business more.
How do you decide the price for your products?
Pricing is something that you have to consider a lot of factor, right from your raw materials up to your manufacturing cost. Your marketing cost is also, that is something that you need to factor in. Right from your entire production cost, it could be, engaging your labor. What would it cost? Your electricity, your shipment costs, say, especially if you're working with an aggregator, there is a commission also which goes to them. So you need to factor in all these things, right? And also, a very important aspect is, I would recommend you to have your own e-commerce site where you can save a lot of cost, which otherwise is close to, especially in the plant-based and vegan market, your commission to others goes close to 25, 30, up to 35% sometime. So the best thing that you would do is, when you're trying to price in, so look at definitely including the cost that would go as commission to the aggregators or your partners, and definitely your sales, marketing, your production costs, raw materials, your shipping costs, and everything. And if you're doing your freebies and sales, so you need to factor in all those things, and then plan accordingly. So ensure you cover your cost. If you're not making, if it's not a huge margin also, but you don't lose out on your cost. So that should cover, because you are going to engage labor as you going to expand your business. Even if it's 5 people, 3 people, there is a cost that's added to it. So I think you have to take into all these things, and then look at what kind of product it is. And do not forget that somebody might tell you that your product is expensive, but please understand that you need to be very confident about your product, because it's a years of experience, your research, which is going into it, the time of production could be less, but the amount of work that has gone into it is going to be huge. Before you arrive, because mine is a very indigenous product, so I have patents for my product, so I know I have put in last 12 to 15 years in researching these things. So there is an intellectual cost that is added also. So you must factor in all these things, apart from the other things that I mentioned.
Since this is a passion turned to business, how do you find, when you're growing the business, it becomes more hectic, stressful? So do you feel that your passion has grown along with the business? Do you have, is there something you'd like to share with us on that?
See, when we talk about passion, passion is a collection of experiences over a lifetime. So, like I said, it's connecting dots, what really moves you. I might have a career, I might have had an executive career earlier, but over a period of time, when you look back, there is a passion. But just having a passion is not going to give you success, right? So you need to have a plan in place. In terms of, when I say plan, it's like the action that you need to take towards your dream or a goal or a passion that you have. I love cooking and I love feeding people. So I enjoy hosting parties at home, but that doesn't mean I can feed the entire world. So if I have I like to everyone to have something what I make. I need to have a product.
Right.
And when you make a product, it also needs to have something which is very easy, which is customizable. There's something that you give to the customers that they can enjoy and do it as well. Your creativity is half, but how can you allow them to play with your product is another thing. So do I get burnt out and stressed out? Yes. If passion alone alone will not make your business. So if you think that you're only going to be a researcher and going to bring product on the in the market, that's not where it ends. You also, if you don't like finance, you will learn finance, you will learn to manage money, you will, if you're shy coming in front of the camera, you will learn to market your product. If you don't like talking to people, you will ensure you will go to the market, stand in the stall and sell your product. You will sample 100 people. So where I have gone and sampled at least 800 to 1,000 people in a company.
Mhm.
So, if you think of business, you have to be an all-rounder, and it's a journey. Nobody knows it all when you get in, but you should be open to learning. At the same time, unlearn a lot of things and move ahead. So I think stress buster is going to be coming back to the family, being your own self. And as a woman entrepreneur, one thing that I want to really mention is ensure you have enough support. It's just not about financial support, because you're juggling between your children, your husband, your family, and you're building your dream. And building your dream for women is not so easy. It comes with fair amount of its own challenges. So ensure you have your enough support from your family, your children. Explain to them, don't hide anything. Whether if it's a stressful, yeah, you had a bad day, you had a bad day, you had a good day, you had a good day. So when you have a good day, do celebrate with your family. When you have a bad day, ensure you speak to them, so that they know what are you going through, and let them be compassionate and let them empathize and be supportive, because ultimately it's all about family, and you have to build your dream along with them. And it's not, when you want to go far, you have to take everybody along with you. You can't go alone. So I think if you have these basics right, which every Indian family teaches you, but I think you should just ensure yourself, don't lose yourself, don't lose your dream, but one step at a time. But surely you'll make it there.